All right, here we are for day 2 of the Service to Purpose, the Mission is You challenge. So I'm here today with my buddy Flops, and obviously, like a lot of other challenges, we're just about doing stuff. I actually come down here, I've got this nice little stream running behind me, and that's what I want to talk about today's video. Today's day 2, and I'm going to do a quick recap for day 1. My name is Brooks Holland, and my gift is helping you see your greatness and then pulling it out of you, because I know everything that your ego, and I know every way that you're going to self-sabotage so that you don't see it yourself, because that's what I've done for the better part of a quarter of a century or more. So to recap from yesterday, again, this challenge, it's simple, but it's not easy. The first thing we got to do is we have to decide. And this isn't just, one time, like I decide I'm going to do this challenge. We have to do that every single day. Every single day when we wake up, we have to decide, and we have to take 100% responsibility for our results and for where we are right now. I think there was a comment under the day 1 video. Somebody said, yeah, I'm definitely going to work on having, being more responsible. We got to get rid of that word more. There's no such thing as more, better, or different. We either are 100% responsible or we're not. And what I use for this is I call it the pregnancy analogy. You can't be more pregnant, you can't be better pregnant, and you can't be different pregnant. You're either pregnant or you're not. There's no degrees. More is just a negotiation, and that's where we have to be so clear with our language, because the way that we talk to ourselves, and I'll get into this later on as far as with the neural pathways and how important the way that we talk to ourselves is. So step 1 is taking full responsibility and making a decision each day to commit to you. The second thing is a gallon of water. It can be water, and there's only 2 things you can add to it: pure lemons or lemon juice and cayenne pepper. That's it. None of the fake lemon stuff with sodium benzoate or any sweeteners. Just pure organic lemon juice or fresh squeezed lemon and or cayenne pepper. The next thing, an hour a day at a minimum of movement. Again, we're all big boys and girls. This doesn't have to be perfect. If you need some recommendations, I can put some below. My wife has an amazing program that's all body weight called Stronger. She also has some great body weight DVDs, 10 or 15 minute workouts, doing that, every day. Basically, it's just moving. It doesn't have to be perfect. Get out there, go for a walk, go for a jog, start doing strength training, do push-ups, do jumping jacks. Just keep it really simple. The other thing is we're not going to keep hiding behind the alcohol. We're not going to keep numbing the pain with the alcohol, the cigarettes, the weed, the porn, and all that stuff. We get to take responsibility, and we'll get to the root of what's driving some of that other stuff, but we get to decide, and we get to take responsibility, and we get to take those tougher actions, because you are worth more. So those are the key foundations of this challenge, and we're going to keep building upon this each and every day. But the biggest thing is we just got to get that consistency, because everybody talks about, how do you get confidence? How do you get confidence? How do you get confidence? Do you want the formula for confidence? It's really simple. It's consistency and courage. And it takes courage every day. When you've been smoking for 10 years, it takes courage to say, I'm deciding that I'm not going to smoke anymore, and I'm taking responsibility for it, and I'm going to drink my water, I'm going to get my exercise in, and I'm going to, take those steps. That takes courage. And it's consistency and courage that leads to confidence. There's no shortcut to confidence. That's the only way. Because I will use the dieting as an example. People always talk about yo-yo dieting, like they start for a couple of days, they stall off. I couldn't relate to that from the form of dieting, but I can relate to it from generating content. I've done, little video challenges where, do 30, 60 seconds a day of video. And it's like I get really motivated, and I would do it for, maybe it was a week. Sometimes it was even several weeks, and then, that ego is so sneaky because it wants to keep us safe. It would come back in, and next thing you know, I would just go dark for for weeks. Same thing with yoga. People get really excited. Oh, I'll do this 7-day diet. We'll get through the 7 days, and then that's where they rebound because they go back the other direction. And that's the big thing with this challenge is eventually, as we go through this, we're going to get to that root, because I see your greatness and I know everything you're going to do to self-sabotage it, but that's where I'm going to help you through it. I'm going to guide you through it. And that's what I'm really excited to do. And for me, the hardest part is not being attached to what that's going to look like. Because that's been the way I was raised, is having to have, the answer and doing it right and all those things. And yeah, that's been tough for me since I was a little kid. And I say this not to toot my own horn, but just to give perspective. When I was 10 years old, I was ranked 4th in the country in swimming. I was the state record holder in Florida. I was ranked 4th in the country, and I started working with my first Olympic swim coach. I ended up swimming at the Naval Academy, qualified for Olympic trials, NCAAs. I worked with Michael Phelps' coach for 3.5 years. I was always operating at a very, very, very high level, yet I still had a belief set that was very, very small. Because I still had a belief set, 4th in the nation, well, that's not even on the podium. And what's the saying, second place is the first loser. Nobody remembers. So it's like, I always had this story that if I couldn't be number one, but let's be honest, who can really be number one at anything? But that's why, because it was all basically driven by that identity. And so that was, it's the third piece here, with the service to purpose, is serving that identity. And I've seen this a lot of really high performers, because they've been in this constantly, but you're constantly doubting yourself. And I know, because I've been at this level where I was operating at a really high level, yet felt really, really small. And then I've seen other people, if you just want to look at results, that maybe were, their results were on a lower level, but they had this massive belief set. And I think we see that, honestly, with a lot of our entrepreneurs. I mean, you look at some of the most influential and successful people, they weren't 4.0 students at some Ivy League school. I mean, yes, a lot of those people have done well, great jobs, but if you look at the people that have really innovated, really had massive impact, they've had a lot of struggles. It didn't have to look a certain way, but the whole key was the belief set that they had, underneath it all. And that's what's going to be really fun about this challenge, is we're going to get down, what are those root beliefs that we have, and how are we going to change those so that we can unleash that greatness? Because remember, the mission is you. The mission is you. We still get to help others, but we just get to do it from a different place. We get to do it with a full cup. We get to do it from abundance. We get to do it from a place of gratitude. We get to do it as a place of giving, not as a place for, well, if I put all my attention on everybody else, they won't notice me. We'll keep taking a back seat. And I know this is prevalent, because I've worked with a lot of people in the military. I've worked with a lot of teachers, nurses, and then honestly, one of the biggest identities crises that I've found is, you ready for this one? Mom. How many times, maybe this resonates with you, it's just funny because my wife, has several million followers, which is about 96% women. And so I've worked with a lot of these women, and that's the thing. What happens is, a lot of times one has a baby, and it's like the kid becomes the life, and she takes a back seat. And I get that, but we want to come from a place of power, because the kids are going to see, our children are going to see what we're doing as adults. So we can tell them, like, you can do anything, you can be anything. We can say all the right words, but if we're not taking and embodying the actions ourselves, it doesn't make a bit of difference. So on this day 2, keep the consistency going. And I want you to be. I want you to feel. I want you to find a quiet place. I want you to take a few minutes and really get honest with yourself. Think back. What are those stories that you've told yourself? Where's those limiting beliefs coming up? Where are you holding you back? Because remember, the mission is you. And I see your greatness, and through this challenge, we're going to unleash it, and you get to be you, and you get to experience and have an amazing life. So stay tuned for video 3, and please, share this with somebody else that you think would find this beneficial. All right, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.